So, it would appear, after all of the sound problems, all of the camera problems, that I'm here. Welcome. Hello. Oh, I need to mute this quickly. Sorry. 1 second. Voila. So, hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to another week of Come Groove with me. Sadly, I have no, my sound thing isn't working properly, so you're hearing me, but you're not hearing me as beautifully as I'd hoped, with effects and stuff. This is also going to screw me because I can't play along to music and the other stuff that we had planned, I had planned for today. But, nonetheless, we're here to play some drums. Should we do it? Should we warm up with a little eighth note? Little eighth note single stroke roll. How about it? 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right left. Really thinking about the ups as you're playing these. We're not just striking down onto the drum, we're playing up into the air so that we're ready for our next stroke. So we've got a nice fluid motion, continuous motion going on, nice and easy. So some exciting things are coming up soon for you guys. Got back into video editing, started learning how to use Premiere Pro again, so I'm going to be making some more tuition videos. My computer will work. And yeah, got some new music from my good friend Alex Judd in the pipeline. Sadly now I can't use this today, but next week for sure I will make sure all these problems are out of the way. I had to work today, so I couldn't spend the day setting up as I often like to and making sure everything's working. I just had an hour to rush everything. So Alex Judd is a pianist partner in crime. We've got a lovely jazz band together called Future Gold. We haven't done anything for 2 years since I moved to Hamburg. My good friend Tal has sent me some new music as well. Loads of new music coming up, so we'll look forward to playing along to that next week. Got some nice beats for us today. Let's move to a double stroke roll. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Lovely stuff. Still thinking about the ups. Nice even strokes. Nice full strokes. Flicking the wrist back between each hit, each strike of the drum. Nice and relaxed. Check your posture. Check your shoulders are relaxed. Check you're feeling good in your heart. We need all that going on. So soon I'm going to be doing some, as I say, more focused tuition videos, looking at specific techniques, styles, grooves, rudiments, the works. Gonna start doing some drum covers as well. If you got any requests, let me know. Doesn't mean I'll do them, but let me know, because maybe I will. And yeah, here we are, ready for another exciting day's drumming. Let's move to a paradiddle. 3 and 4 and paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. Paradiddle, combination of singles and doubles. The para is the 2 singles and the diddle is the double. If you ever forget the sticking, that can help you remember what's going on. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, 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 right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, lovely stuff. Good. Looks like my volume is peaking a little bit. Let me just fix that. What do I need to do? You. Hopefully that's better for you, and you can perhaps even hear me clearer as well. So let's stop that there, and then I can just adjust that a tiny bit more. Nightmare. These are the problems we face in this modern world. So let's get going with just a basic eighth note groove. We're going to do some syncopated snares today. As ever, it's all about dynamic control, course coordination. We're always having to work on our coordination. But first of all, I'd like to warm up just with a straight up eighth note groove. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. Just to get us into the flow of things, because we're going to be adding stuff to this later. Inted quarter note going on with the hi-hat pattern, even better. We don't always want to play this way, but it helps us get our flow. Helps us just move a little better, helps us play faster. We also use this technique for 1/16ths, this little push-pull technique. So, just getting into the groove of things. Just check your volumes. Is your bass drum the volume you want it to be? Is the snare drum how you want it to be? Maybe the hi-hat can come down a little bit in volume. The right hand with the eighth notes or the quarter notes, whatever hi-hat pattern you're playing in different grooves, feels like it's leading because it kind of tends to be doing everything all the time. But the other voices, we kind of want to sound out a little bit more. We want those to be a little bit clearer. Boom, ba, boom, ba. That's what the audience want to hear. They want to hear the thing that makes them move. Ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. Let's add 2 in there. Boom, boom, ba, 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 boom, boom, ba. Excellent. Very, very nice. So, let's take a little look at our first groove of the day that is somehow cutting my head off a little bit because of all these wonderful problems I was having. Let's just resize that. Look at that. Magical. So, we are going to take now a new concept, adding in a little syncopated note, a little syncopated 16th note in between our 8th notes that we're playing on the hi-hat. This is perhaps a new thing for some of you. Perhaps some of you are pretty comfortable with this. So we can then look at refining that further and getting that grooving better and how we can play that in different ways. So the first thing, it's based on boom, boom, ba, boom. We know this already. What we've got to fit in is this little offbeat snare. Ticka boom. It's going to fit in like that. Right, left. Bass and the hi-hat together. Ticka dum. Ticka dum. If you're new to this, just try that first. Ticka dum. Ticka dum. Ba. Ticka dum. Ba. Worth bearing in mind that the 16th note comes a little bit faster than the 8th note. So the speed, the relative speed here is a little bit quicker. Let's hear the whole thing together. Boom. Ba. Ticka dum. Ba. Boom. Ba. Ticka dum. Ba. Dum. Ba. Ticka dum. Ba. Dum. Ba. Ticka dum. Ba. That's our groove. We've got to fit that little snare in there. And it's worth bearing in mind, or it's worth mentioning, that we've got these two little kind of chevron symbols going on above the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. This means, this is called an accent, and it means to play louder. So we're thinking about that. The other snare, the new syncopated snare, wants to be lower relative in volume to the other snares that we're playing on the backbeat on the 2 and 4. So, boom, ba, ticka dum, ba, Ba-ticka-dum. Really whispering that. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba. I'm a real advocate for over-exaggerating. When we're practicing things and having different relative volumes, thinking about the idea that if you're practicing slowly and really focusing, and you over-exaggerate, you go to your loudest for your loud notes and your quietest for your quiet notes, then when you're playing a bit faster, perhaps in the context of a song, you're concentrating less on exactly how you're playing. Perhaps you're not concentrating at all, you're just rocking out and having fun. Then hopefully, maybe the volumes have come together a little bit, but they will still be different. You will still have that difference between that dynamic difference between the loud and the quiet notes. So, boom. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba. Let's give it a go with the click. 3 and 4 and boom. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-ticka-dum. If we want to count this, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and we can add our little accented hi-hat pattern. Boom. Ba, ticka, ba. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1. So that's our first groove of today. There's going to be a little bit of music to play along to there, but sadly today not. Let's have a look now at our second groove, moving onwards. So, same thing really, kind of continuing in a similar theme to the quarter note grooves and the eighth note grooves, adding now some different bass drum patterns to our same new offbeat snare that we've got in there, syncopated snare. So now we've got boom, ba, ticka, dum, oh, dum, ba, ticka, dum, dum, ba. Helps if you remember what you're doing. Ba, ticka, dum, dum, ba. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1. Let's give it a go. In context with the click, I'm going to take away the beat off the sheet, so you just use your ears. I'm also going to drop down the click a little bit. We were at 80 BPM before. Take it down to 60 so we can really concentrate on this. Ah, boom. Ba, ticka, dum, dum, ba. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3. If you want, you can get a nice rim shot to really bring out the difference between our loud and quiet snares, accented and unaccented. But I worry about my neighbours, so I'm not going to do that. We can play these with without the accents, or, you know, not paying so much attention to playing that middle beat quietly. Can be cool. Works quite nicely in a hip-hop setting. You do hear that, some of those early programmed beats where it wasn't a drummer doing the programming, so they weren't thinking about this. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1. Excellent. Very, very nice work, my friends. Lovely stuff. So, moving on again. Just whizzing through them because I have no songs to play to. So, next week, I will come back to a few of these and probably put them together. I'd been kind of thinking about this anyway. Put them together in some 2-bar phrases with some of the other beats we learn. Make it a little bit more complex for you guys. And a little bit more interesting as well. I always think a 2-bar phrase where we vary it up is more interesting. Let's look at that. Why not? I'm here. We've got this groove here. And we've got our previous groove there. So, 1 bass drum in the second half of the first one. 2 in the second one. Boom. Ba, tika, dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. Dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. Dum. Oh, I can't remember what I'm doing. This should be the 2. Dum, dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. Dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. Ba, dum. Ba, tika, dum. So it's not the most exciting example of a 2-bar phrase, but it gives you the idea. If we just put a little bit of variety in the first and second bar, it gives us more to think about, helps us keep track, as I've said before, in a song more easily. And it can work a lot better, of course, with a piece of music. Perhaps the bass line is playing something different in the first bar and the second bar, or the guitar riff is slightly different. So it kind of fits in with what the rest of the band are doing as well. Moving on, we've got 2 more grooves to play today, and this is often seems to be a favourite with students, moving that bass drum in the second half just onto the and of 3. So we have no bass drum on 3 now, just on the and. Boom, ba, tika, boom, ba, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Let's play that a little slower. Just wanted to play it faster for you so you could hear it. Now, with our metronome. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 3 and getting emotional about the beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and. Just want to talk about that one a little bit more. A reason why it's a favourite for many people is because that delayed bass drum kind of gives us a slight sense of, oh, is it coming? And then when it finally lands, just half a beat later, it just gives us a nice kind of sensation of, oh, there we go. It's all kind of landing with the snare following it, of course. So that boom, ba, boom, ba, just gives that little bit of tension. A really nice thing when we've got this lovely push-pull little accenting technique going on with the hi-hat is that now, in this pattern, we're accenting beat 3 on the hi-hat, but we're not playing a bass drum. So it kind of stands out a little bit more. Boom. Ba. Isn't that lovely? While we're on this, on that note, if you're playing on an acoustic snare drum, or if you're playing on the top of the range Roland snare drums, then the outside of the snare sounds different. It's quieter, it's got a little bit of a different timbre to it. So it's a really nice thing to do, even if you're practicing on an electric kit, to kind of move from, obviously if you're on a smaller drum, this is harder to do on an electric kit, but get in the habit of playing the accent in the middle and then the ghost note or the offbeat on the outside. Boom. Ba. Boom. Ba. Just gives a little bit more interest. Same with our little buzzes. Those little buzzes, or it could be a double, are fitting into the same spot as our syncopated snare. I've put it towards the end here, which we're going to see in a minute. But it's fitting in the same place. And I could do it in the middle. Boom. Ba. I like it followed by a bass drum, so I go back to the previous bass drum pattern. Boom, ba, boom, ba. Whether it's a little double or a buzz. Whatever you fancy, but a really, really nice thing to mess around with. I would recommend getting into that. Once you've got the hang of these grooves on their own, start messing around with putting some buzzes. You could put the buzz on the backbeat as well. Boom. It's quite cool. But maybe that's a lesson for another day. So, our final beat of the day. Harking back to another one of our 8th note grooves, we've got bass drums in the second half on the and of 2 and on the and of 3. We've now pushed our syncopated snare right to the end of the beat. So we've got this. Boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. 2 and 3 and 4. Let's give it a little go with our best friend over here, the clicky guy. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. Oh, I'm back in the grooves. I can't get my head into the next one. Boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba. Boom, boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ticka, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2. Let's just try buzzing that last note. Boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, ba, boom, boom, ba. That lovely accent pattern, if you can get it. Now dancing around the bass drum. Ba, boom, tick, boom, ba. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Lovely stuff. Very, very nice work, my fine drummy friends. Good. So I apologise a little bit. I mean, I'm giving my time here for free. No, I do. I apologise for the lack of music today. My computer hopefully will apologise to me for the problems it's given me. But thank you very much for showing up. If you're people of the future, I hope this has been helpful for you too. Do spread the word, tell your friends, phone your mum about it, whatever you fancy. And I will be back here again next week, same time, 5 p.m. UK, 6 p.m. German time, for some more drummy fun every Monday. So I look forward to seeing you next time, hopefully with a little bit more organisation and less problems. Let's keep our fingers crossed, or squeeze our thumbs, as people do in Germany. I don't know. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful week. Keep practicing.